What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So, yeah, gonna go through a quick fantasy update. As you can already tell, it says I finished first, which has been a while, but definitely glad I was able to do it. Yeah, so let's check it out. Yeah, I barely got, well, it was a couple more points, but yeah, I guess updated stats and everything, it ended up barely having me win by like less than 1 point, which is even more crazy. But yeah, the guys that did it for me in that matchup were, I was expecting more from Mahomes, obviously, but the Stooge ended up getting only 23 points to my brother's Brady's 46. Crazy. Both Debo and Cooper Kupp once again went around their averages or a little bit better, so I was happy about that. They've been definitely my fantasy MVPs just because of how great they've been and where I drafted them later, like definitely after the 4th round. His Antonio Brown start was kind of crazy. That guy left mid-game. Valdez Scantling didn't really help him out. I did take a long shot and go with Rashad Penny of Seattle because of how good he's been. He's only projected 12, but ended up getting 36, so that definitely helped out a lot. This guy Singletary ended up getting 23, which is pretty good. Sony Michel, a little bit better than 17, even though, I don't think he even scored, but it kind of came down to these last two guys for me on the left. Freiermuth, the tight end from Pittsburgh, and CHUBB. I was down by maybe 4 to 5 points and something like that, maybe a little more. And these guys were projected high. They were projected 21 points, so it kind of seemed like a no-brainer. But, of course, no touchdowns. They had to make it interesting, and pretty much not till the 4th quarter where I could officially say that I got this victory. T. Higgins, he had a great game last week, but now he went pretty average. Kind of sucked. My kicker only had 2 extra points. Sucked as well. Buffalo defense did pretty well, but of course my bench defense did even better. The Pitts tight end did all right. Of course, I have 31 points on my bench with the ex-USC receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown for Detroit. He just went off. Once again, I should have trusted him over Higgins, but that's how dumb I am. Would have had this victory more in hand. Christian Kirk did pretty good. Jalen Hurts, I almost wanted to start him, the Philadelphia quarterback, over Mahomes, but luckily I didn't, because that would have been, the nail in my fantasy football coffin. And I did not start Chicago's defense over Buffalo's, because I thought Buffalo was going to kill Atlanta, but turned out to be different. And if I would have thrown in Chicago in there, it would have been a lot better points-wise. So let's get into the more in-depth breakdown. Yeah, and that's even crazy too. They gave me a C+, gave him a B, just because I guess they're so used to me scoring better. And as you can see right there, I did not even reach my projections of 161. Luckily, he didn't either, but yes, the slimmest of margins. Most of the time, he did lead. Yeah, until the very last game on Monday, which is pretty crazy. Kings Hansu Whoopassin had the #1 score in the matchup with Tom Brady, second highest total in the league, but it wasn't enough to topple MAHOMIES CHUBB, who rallied to earn a 153.75 to a 152.80 win. Yeah, it said I trailed about 9 points heading into Monday night. Yeah, pretty crazy. According to the top players on my team, Penny, obviously St. Brown would have been up there, but Mahomes, the defense counted for 13%, and Kupp, who's been my all-star all year, got up to 12%. His team, obviously Brady, Singletary, Kamara, Hunter Renfrow, who I had on my team earlier this year, but I let him go, which is kind of dumb. My brother had a lead at 1.124 to at least 91. Mahomes kind of helped me keep in steady, but of course Brady still had to go off and get extra points because he threw over, I believe it was 350 and 400 yards and had a couple touchdowns too. So you get 15 extra points just for that alone. Yes, luckily Deebo Samuel stepped up. He had a 45-yard touchdown catch. It was it was going kind of close there because he's been good for me, and then he kind of stopped in that game, but luckily he did score that long touchdown, which helped out his points. It says matchup player of the week is the Buffalo Bills defense. Probably would have been the Bears defense. Quarterback, yes, obviously he did better. Running back, I did a lot better. Wide receiver did pretty good. His tight ends were better because I think he played one more tight end than me. His kicker is better, and then my defense, which is a bit more better. MAHOMIES CHUBB ended the regular season atop the standings after averaging 162.93 points per game. Best in the league. Yes, I was the leading scorer of the league. It would have sucked if I did not end up winning that game, but winning the whole playoffs. But yeah, I kind of had the most scoring throughout the year. I had one game more than my brother at the time. But yeah, it's crazy how you could score that many points and still get everybody's best game. My MVP, according to them, was Mahomes. He had a very subpar year. He should have had a way better year. And of course, once he's on my team, he just did pretty average. But I wasn't minding it at first because he was still averaging over 25 a game. So that was pretty good. But there's a lot of times there where he averaged under 15 as well. And I would still barely win or lose those weeks. Cooper Kupp, my best drafted. Of course, the guy's probably going to break the record for receiving yards in a season. Already broke some type of receiving stats in NFL history. So good for him. Obviously, Rashad Penny helped me out this week a bunch. Would not have been anywhere without that 30 points. Where's Tom Brady, his MVP. Mark Andrews, tight end, best drafted. And Singletary, I'm pretty sure you picked him up recently. There's Stat Smack. We heard scoring helps you win. MAHOMIES CHUBB doing better than that. I was averaging 162, and my brother was averaging 138, which is still pretty good. But yeah, my guys were just insane this year. I made some pretty good choices. MAHOMIES CHUBB didn't let their opponents come within striking distance. They got more blowout wins this season than King Hans you an ass whooping. I beat him 9-7, which is still pretty good. I guess that's why we're 1-2 in this league. MAHOMIES CHUBB was more resilient squad with fewer upset losses won than his 3. MAHOMIES CHUBB should change their name to the Overachievers since they have beat their projection in more matchups than him. Yeah, I was pretty good. That's why I'm leading the league in scoring 11 of like the 16 games I scored over right before the playoffs. So it's pretty good. And even the first round of the playoffs, I had like almost 230. So it's pretty nice. MAHOMIES CHUBB have started more fantasy players who beat their projected more than him. About 15 more. There's one stat they made more transactions 13 than MAHOMIES CHUBB this week. Well, I think my brother had to. He had a lot of guys out with COVID, and I had already made a lot of my selections. By position, MAHOMIES CHUBB outscored in running back, receiver, kicker, defense. Yeah, we saw that. MAHOMIES CHUBB didn't win. They don't just win, they win big with an average margin of victory of 35 points, highest in the league. Yes, pretty much enjoyed that all season long. Starters for MAHOMIES CHUBB had more big plays in their NFL games this week, 3 than the starters of Kings Hanzu and Asswhooping 1. There's better luck next year. Ooh, I get 50% off of a lucky hat. Ooh. But yeah, that's just how fantasy football goes. You win some, you lose some. At least this is the second straight year my brother's at least played for the championship. He's gone second place both times, but last year I lost in the first round of the playoffs, so ended up 4th. But yeah, overall, great matchup. I know it's a lot of family related people I want to add or make a new league. Heard about this fantasy league where on ESPN every week everyone is eliminated, but whoever has the least amount of scoring or something like that. That could be very interesting, no matter how good your team is. But if you have a crappy week that week, you could be eliminated from the league, and that's it. And then those players get put into a waiver wire, and you could get those as free agents. So your team at the end of the year is probably like the all-star team, which would be pretty interesting. Yeah, definitely excited about this. Very cool. Not gonna rub it in, but yes, I came for that ass whooping, and someone else left on the ground. So yes, thank you very much, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.